You know, for the longest time, we've been lied to by the media, by the DA, white people, because of course they work hand in hand with the media, the mainstream media. They print all negative things about black people, black political parties. So the biggest lie ever told is that the EFF is corrupt. The EFF is not a good political party to work with. The EFF doesn't participate, doesn't engage. You know, it's always robust, it's always arrogant. But that's not true. Because according to Mr. Herman Mashaba, he was once the mayor in the city of Tshwane. So during his mayor time, he was being supported by the ANC, by the EFF, and other political parties. And according to him, the EFF was the only political party that was the most supportive. If you don't believe me, there's a clip. You're going to hear it from for yourself, from the man himself.
3 years as a mayor, I'm on record on that the EFF were the most supportive of all the parties in the coalition arrangement that are there. In the 3 years I operated with the EFF, not a single EFF senior official or the leader, and I had numerous engagements with them in that regard, never came to my house or in any of the discussions talked to us about tenders or any issue related to corruption. That I'm on record on that. I don't know if EFF can contradict us otherwise. But I can't say the same thing about the parties that went on this massive campaign to discredit us, that our involvement with the EFF is a doomsday to coalition. I can assure you, since 2016 working with other parties on a coalition basis, I've never found parties that are willing to listen with the interest of South Africa at heart, because that is the position of Action SA. What we are doing, we're doing it for people of Tshwane, we're doing it for South Africa, we're doing it for our communities in the townships, informal settlements, for them to really be able to access services of government that they deserve. But that does not really mean that we are going to ignore other communities. I think when you're in government, you have a constitutional responsibility to service everybody, those who voted for you and those who did not. And I think that is one thing that the partners here today who are going to vote Dr. Moya into office, we are giving that commitment that service delivery is going to be directed to all the communities in the city of Tshwane.
You just heard Mr. Herman Mashaba. So he's speaking about the Gauteng, the province of Gauteng, and the leadership of the EFF, how operative they are, how supportive they are, how willing to listen and engage in discussions with people they are. It's been a misconception that the EFF is a negative party, the EFF, they don't listen, the EFF, they cause corruption. No, their discipline, their work ethic, their hard work, it's a threat to lazy people. And lazy people are going to look at the EFF, work hard, be dedicated in what they do, and not compromise on their principles. They are going to look at the EFF and only get jealous. They only get intimidated. That's why they print all the negative lies. It's intimidation. They are intimidated by the organizational structure. Herman Mashaba, there he is. He's telling you the only political party to ever work with. And another interesting thing, you know, people don't believe when the EFF leadership, CIC Julius Malema, tells them, for the EFF, it's not all about positions. It's not all about being a mayor. It's not all about being a councillor. It's not all about being a minister of what. It's not all about being a deputy president of the country. It's not even about being the president. It's about doing the work for the people, the poor people, being there as a politician, being there as a leader, being there as whatever delegate or whatever work you are given to do. You must be there. You must work hard. It's not all about positions. It's about the work. Can you do the work? Do you have the work ethic? Many people have left the EFF and joined other political parties. And they're starting to speak bad about the EFF. And when you go back to the track record, these people were let go because of the incompetence. These people were let go because they were too lazy. These people were let go because they didn't do the job they were supposed to do. Now they leave the EFF, join MK party, and they want to act like they're some active people. And they are not. They've been lazy. They are also lazy. They just trying to overdo it and overprove themselves. But as time goes on, they will most probably go back to their ways, you know. So it is what it is, man. I just love that people are starting to appreciate the reality about the EFF. People are starting to appreciate the reality about what's happening. What happens when you engage in discussions with the EFF? They will tell you the truth, man. They will tell you the truth. They tell the truth as it is. They have no right to be lying to people. I don't think the EFF can sit there and sleep proper at night, knowing very well they've lied to the people of South Africa, knowing very well they've lied to their constituency, they've lied, they've abandoned their principles, their policies. I don't think the EFF will ever abandon their policies. I don't think the EFF will ever abandon what they stand for. That's why they are the biggest threat to the white monopoly capital. That's why they are the biggest threat to the DA. The DA only sees the EFF as a threat. It's because of what the EFF stands for and what the EFF is. The principles, the structure, the culture, and the belief in what they are doing. The belief in what they stand for. The defense of their organization. It's a big threat to people who are weak, people who don't have direction politically, people who don't stand for anything. They will always be threatened by someone who believes in something. They will always be threatened by someone who has the work ethic. They will always be threatened by someone who's dedicated, someone who's passionate about what they do, someone who's willing to put in the work and be consistent on a daily basis. It's going to be a big threat to someone who's lazy, someone who's weak-minded, someone who can't even focus, someone who's easily distracted. It's going to be a threat to them. That's why the ANC, the EFF is a big threat to many political parties. And people don't understand why is this only one organization, only targeted by all of these, even the ones in the Progressive Caucus, about MK party. They continuously attack the EFF, you know, because it's a threat to them. They might act like it's not a competition, but it is. As much as the MK is the competition of the EFF is the competition of the MK party. Yeah, it's a 5% difference with the percentages they got in the previous elections. But that's their starting percentage. They can never go down from that. They have to go up. Going down for the MK party from 15% going down, it's a loss. It doesn't matter if they go from 15% and go back to 13%. It's going to be a loss. Even if the EFF goes from 9 to 12, while the MK party goes from 15 to 13, it's still going to be a loss for the MK party because that's what they started with. So they can't afford to go down. They have to go up. The EFF didn't start with 9%. They started with 6%. When they started contesting elections, they started with 6%. They didn't have influence that much or the power of having a former president of the country behind them. All they had is themselves and the work ethic. The MK has everything. They have the president. They have people joining them, people supporting them, people believing in them. So they can't afford to go down. But they still look at the EFF as an enemy force. That's why they try by all means to speak bad about it and try to destroy it. But one thing they don't know, they will never succeed. In the meantime, thank you very much. Thank you for supporting. We see the amazing work. God bless you.